I get a lot of opportunities to hang out with some pretty unique and talented folks. And when I found out that we were going to have the opportunity to ride with Can-Am sponsored number 32 NASCAR Cup driver Matt DiBenedetto, I pushed Luke out of the way and jumped in line.
So the short story of how I got into racing is I grew up riding four-wheelers, dirt bikes. I was just a gearhead. None of my parents or anybody ever watched NASCAR or any form of racing at all. I tell everybody I must be adopted. And so no, I played baseball, and then a friend that I played baseball with, they actually raced our local dirt track. So my dad at our little baseball award ceremonies would be like, this is my little Jeff Gordon. He likes baseball, but he loves racing. My dad happened to be flipping through the channels one day and passed by NASCAR, and I made him watch it every single weekend religiously. And he was like, what in the heck do you want to watch that for? So that's how it got started, and then I started racing at the local dirt track, and the rest is history. So we were naive enough to, we were winning everything out there, naive enough to pick up and move all the way across country and pursue it and try and be one of 40 in the world out here in North Carolina.
I knew I wanted to be along for this ride, but when you're out with a guy like Matt who can drive with the skill of a surgeon, you don't want to have just any old ride. So a quick call to Can-Am and they hooked me up with a beautiful 2017 Maverick X3 XRS, fully accessorized with the new Lone Star Racing accessories and sporting all the horsepower I could ever ask for. With Matt piloting his personal X3, I knew that this was going to be a great day. But at the back of my mind, I was wondering just how close to home off-road riding was for Matt.
I just was a gearhead from the time I was a kid, and when I was about 4, I'd ride little go-karts and stuff that we had, but I wanted something faster, and I wanted to start riding four-wheelers, start riding dirt bikes, anything like that. So I was just bugging the heck out of my dad, like, I want a dirt bike, I want a four-wheeler, whatever. So finally, I got a little 80cc four-wheeler when I was 5 years old for my 5th birthday. I rode it for one day, and it was too slow. So then shortly after, I got a 250, which I did not fit on at all. I looked like a little tiny guy sitting on one of those things, and I was just wide open on those. And all I did, lived out on the West Coast. I grew up, even while finally I got into racing go-karts and such on dirt. I never stopped. Every day my passion was going out, riding. I bought a tractor when I was 11 years old with my race winnings, building jumps. It just was never enough for me. Pretty made it into a racetrack, and that's all I've ever done. That was my passion. That's what got me into racing. I just like anything that has 2 wheels, 4 wheels, an engine, and goes fast.
Understanding how much of an enthusiast Matt is really solidified the Can-Am connection and the sponsorship. Matt lives this, and he loves his X3.
Yeah, it's cool having Can-Am as a sponsor, because it's so easy to represent a brand that just is part of your lifestyle. That's part of my life, so it was way too cool of a fit. I don't have to be like a brochure, and it's part of my life, and it's my passion. People can truly tell when it's not like people force me to go out there and ride. I've got my side-by-side, my X3, and any chance that I get, it's the best stress reliever. I love going out and just tearing it up. I found out it's a really good date for my wife and I too. I didn't really think about that aspect of it. It is so much fun for us to go out there and just spend a couple of days riding and relieving a lot of stress, not worrying about all the chaos and all the stress of the NASCAR world. So it was just too cool of a partnership, and it fit too perfectly. Oh, it was definitely plenty of fun. Yeah, see, I'm not graceful with anything I do on this. My theory is you just use momentum to your advantage. So I decided to hold it wide open, going through the sand and a bunch of water. So we get all muddy and then roll through the water and then just get covered head to toe and get soaked, and it cleans us off. That's the way to do it, man.
How about you?
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Are you bathing now?
For sure. I like it though.
Matt's wife Taylor was along for the ride, and it was really cool to see that they love riding together this much, even if it does get a little rough at times.
Yeah, the X3 is a blast to ride. So before Can-Am was even my sponsor, I was representing them or anything, I already knew every dang thing about these because I wanted a side-by-side so bad. I love the Can-Am. When they came out the X3, I was like, boom, that's exactly what I want, because you feel like you're actually sitting down in a race car. You know, the seats are ready for the 4-point harnesses and everything. So I already had my dream X3 already mapped out. And then sure enough, I get with my team and Can-Am's our sponsor. I was like, oh man, this is heaven for me right here. So I started bugging them from day one, like, I want one now. And it's cool though, it's perfect because I can get out there and represent them by actually riding it, and I love it. But it's cool. Mine is obviously tricked out pretty good. I wanted quite a few accessories on it, and they hooked me up with everything and more. It's got the front bumper, the front intrusion bars, the LED bar, the 4-point harnesses were a must, especially with the way that I drive things. Wrapped just like my number 32 Can-Am Kappa race car. So I can't drive down the road without getting stopped. People see this thing, they're parking beside it, looking at it, taking pictures, video. It's an eye catcher being wrapped like my race car and all accessorized up. It's cool.
More graceful than me then. See, I just do the wide open, all momentum approach.
He did it like nice and gracefully, not my style.
After tackling some pretty gnarly hill climbs, I really wanted to see if Matt would open up the X3 and showcase his NASCAR racing talents. Because how often do you get a guy like this able to show you what he can do off-road?
I'm gonna say the biggest testament and compliment to my X3 here is I am known for every vehicle I get, I have to mod it. I mean, like performance-wise, it's never fast enough. I've got to do something. All my street cars, anything. So I got the X3. Before I rode it, I was like, all right, I think I can do some injectors, a tune, this and that, and I can make it faster. And I mean, you are flying through trails, mat the gas. I mean, you're blowing the tires off it sideways, throwing a trail of mud, 100 feet behind you, it feels like. And just, it's like out of control, but so in control at the same time. And it's the first vehicle I've ever gotten where, other than the exterior, all the accessories, performance-wise, I was like, perfect, leave it right there, don't touch it. It's got way more power than you need. And I'd never really rode side-by-sides much before I got it. I just wanted one terribly. And the things that surprised me the most, you put it in four-wheel drive and low, it feels like you could darn near climb a tree. Done hill climbs like I did today, I mean, you think there's absolutely no way that you can do them. But I started off doing some hill climbs and such, like I'd find stuff, be like, oh, okay, I don't think I can make it up that. It would go up it like it was nothing. I was almost disappointed, like, wow, that was way too easy. Those were my biggest surprises, and then how much power it has, the power to weight on it was absolutely ridiculous. And also how comfortable it is to drive. It doesn't beat you to death. You can ride for a full day and you don't feel sore all over. Like, it took me a while to get used to flying up on stuff 80 miles an hour or something, and you're coming up on a big rut or a little jump and you brace up for it just naturally because you see what's coming. Well, they have like 24 inches of suspension travel, so it's just like, it just cruises right over it like it was nothing. You're like, wow, it's so nice. So the technology is unreal.
Seeing as Adventure World already has a banked dirt oval track, I thought, when else in my life am I going to get the opportunity to goof around with a NASCAR driver? And Matt, being as laid back and humble as he is, was totally willing to let me chase him around for a few laps.
Grew up in a normal background. My dad fixes washers and dryers for a living, so it's not like we came from millions of dollars. So I come from just regular background, and I'm appreciative of that because I've had to work so hard to get here today and do a lot of things differently, and we didn't have money to just bring the teams and get me there, but it's a lot better because you have to work the old school way to get there. But that also relates to making you never forget where you came from, and I was raised differently than to treat anybody with disrespect, no matter who it is, no matter if cameras are rolling or not or whatever. You got to be true to yourself all the time.
What's going on, man?
Oh, just hanging out, ready to wheel it here. I may have overdid it just
just a little bit in one corner. Found a slick spot. Act like yourself. It doesn't matter what's going on. So that's just how I choose to live my life. My friends and wife, especially my wife, gives me a hard time. She's like, I'll have a friend come over. She's like, how'd you meet him? I'm like, oh, it's my buddy I met that was the manager at the buckle store in the mall. How'd you meet him? Oh, I met him out at a car show. She's just like, you just talk to everybody, don't you? And I'm like, hey, it's part of life. You got to enjoy it and just be real and true to yourself and not act any different under any circumstances.
This segment is just the start for you. Click the subscribe button and become part of the Dirt Trax Nation, where you'll have access to tons of great content from all of the years past of our great stories, trail techs, and test rides.